Okay, we are back. I'm very happy to have on the Goldstein on Gelt show author Dina Proctor, who, after battling major issues like alcoholism and suicidal depression and food issues, she found a very, very effective solution, which she has shared with people in her best-selling book called Madly Chasing Peace, How I Went From Hell to Happy in 9 Minutes a Day. Dina, real pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much, Doug. I'm so happy to be here.
So not only have you written a best-selling book, but you've spoken to a lot of great people, and I just want to let our listeners here today know that Dina's told us that at the end of the show she's going to share with us how we can all get access to an interview that she did with the creator of the Chicken Soup series, Jack Canfield. So we'll come back to that in a minute, but Dina, tell us about your book, Madly Chasing Peace.
Well, it's kind of a hybrid. It's like a half memoir, half self-help book. Basically, digging myself out of the hardest time of my life. I accidentally discovered, nothing happens by accident, but I came up with this meditation method that I call 3x3 meditation. It's 3 minutes, 3 times a day. And what I discovered in creating this method and really saving my own life is that when I do the internal work, get my mindset and my emotions in place with whatever I want to create in my life, whether it's financial abundance, healthy relationships, a healthy body, when I get my mindset and emotional state in the right place to create that, the outside circumstances to, come into place reflecting that. So really discovered the importance of getting the inside right so that the outside falls into place. Mm-hmm. And I do that in 3 minutes, 3 times a day. So that's kind of the summary of the whole book.
Okay, so now don't bother buying the book. No, I'm kidding. The book is packed with all sorts of great information. In fact, I want to get right to the point of why we would talk to someone like you on a personal finance show. To me, it's really obvious because my day job is that I'm a financial advisor. I only do the radio gig once a week. And as a financial advisor, people think they're going to talk to me all about money and stocks and bonds and mutual funds. But really, I probably spend a great deal of time just talking about your attitude towards money. Have you spoken to people about this?
Oh, yeah. Some of my clients, I've worked actively with their money mindset because we may have beliefs that we're holding or behaviors that we engage in or attitudes that we hold that are subconsciously blocking us to allowing abundance coming into our lives. And so cleaning that up and even realizing that we have these behaviors or attitudes is really the first fundamental step in being able to create abundance.
So what are some of the things that people have maybe been locked out of seeing or had difficulty seeing?
Well, I've found in, the people that I coach, a lot of them are entrepreneurs or, kind of self-help people. And, there's been issues that I've uncovered of guilt around having money. And so it might seem like, oh, I just want to help people. And yes, I want to make a living, but I keep offering all these discounts. And we have this self-sabotage thing going on because there may be a lack of deserving. Like, I don't deserve this money coming to me. Or there may be, a fear of sales, a thing of feeling like a sleazy salesperson. Like, oh, I don't want like feeling like that, person asking me to change cable companies in the middle of dinner. And so I hold myself back on sharing what I'm able to contribute to people's lives because I don't like closing the sale. I'm uncomfortable with conversations about money. So those are just a couple of examples of, attitudes or mindsets I've helped people work through.
How about just in home life, let's say between spouses?
Well, yeah, I think that's absolutely true because two different people could hold differing opinions on how money works or creating money or, those sorts of things. So I think getting the conversations right and the air cleared in that can absolutely contribute to better abundance for the couple, the relationship, the family. Absolutely.
We are talking with best-selling author Dina Proctor, who wrote a book called Madly Chasing Peace, How I Went From Hell to Happy in 9 Minutes a Day. Tell us a little bit about those 9 minutes a day. What does it look like? And is it really possible to use 9 minutes a day to, in fact, improve your situation?
Such a great question, because doesn't it sound like a gimmick, like 6-minute abs, like you can get the body of your dreams. It's, I know. And what's funny is because I knew that kind of going into it. I knew the power that it created for me. But when I wrote my book, I wanted some kind of like exterior validation that this was in fact a method that was really feasible and practical and powerful for people. So I interviewed a cell biologist, actually, a neuroscientist, Dr. Bruce Lipton. And I told him, listen, I've been able to create healing in my body from addiction. I've lost weight in a relatively effortless kind of manner, using mostly mindset alone, creating different relationship with food. I've created an entire company, a business and finances and all of that sort of thing. And I just said, listen, all I'm doing is sitting still for 3 minutes, 3 times a day, and visualizing what I want to create for myself. I mean, it's very key to have a process where you know how to quiet your mind and hold a vision of what you want to create, connect with that emotionally, because that's what creates the results physically. So I told him this is what I do, and it's only 9 minutes a day. And he laughed and he said, I've never heard anything like this, but he goes, I have no doubt that it's so powerful, because what you're doing is you're not just using this visualization or meditation and checking it off the list, once a day. You're tapping into and creating new, synaptic firings in your brain. I don't know all the language. I'm sure I'm butchering it, but like new neural pathways in your brain, so that the way you think, the way you believe, and therefore the way that you act in life becomes different. And you're repatterning your brain 3 times a day. So that's 21 times a week rather than just kind of once a day. So it becomes your new normal, your new way of thinking, your new way of living. That's where the power of it is. And it doesn't take a whole lot of time to do it. You do have to touch that space of belief of that new, thought pattern you want to create, but you don't necessarily have to stay there for 20 minutes or more in order for it to be effective. 3 minutes really is plenty to be able to create that.
And how long until someone begins to see a change?
Well, the clients I work with, we take it 7 days at a time, because when you're working with something for 7 days, you can really play full out with it. I know it takes 21 or 28 days to create a habit, but if I tell myself, okay, I'm going to do this for 30 days, I could get to day 13, 14 and think, maybe I should start. There's not really an urgency to it. But when you're doing something for 7 days, you start, there's that urgency to it, and you play full out with it. So even if you get to day 3 or 4 and think this is too hard, or I don't think this is working, you can remind yourself, I only have to do this for 3 or 4 more days. And to answer your question about how long it takes, every single person that I've worked with or taught this to who has played full out for 7 days at a time, after 7 days has noticed a definite difference. That doesn't mean they went from $0 to $1 million in 7 days, but it means that they literally can feel physically and emotionally and mentally different about the issue than they did 7 days previous. So you can notice a difference in that amount of time.
Okay, and I know that it's a little bit strange because you're only talking about 9 minutes a day, but people are so frantic these days about their time. Do you find that your clients sometimes go, oh my God, I can't stop for that long?
Oh yeah, I know. It's exactly right. But here's the thing. I've heard this quote. I think it's like a Buddhist quote. It's like, if you have time to meditate for 20 minutes. If you don't have time to meditate for an hour, right? Because here's the thing. It's like our busyness and our franticness is largely our mindset. It can largely be solved if we change the way that we're thinking. It's kind of like being in the zone. Like when you're in the zone and you're getting a whole bunch of work done, you're getting 2 weeks worth of work done in 4 hours or so. Like we've all had little pockets of time like that of being in the zone where we're super productive, super effective, and we kind of can't believe that it's happening this well. Well, what you can do with these little 3-minute breaks throughout the day is refocus so that you can get that feeling of being in the zone, and you're more efficient and effective. You approach your day more as, this is what I want to create in my day, and have a deliberate intention behind it, rather than this like, oh my gosh, I'm just kind of blowing with the wind and putting out fires. It changes the way that you see your life. It changes your perception of time, actually, and you start getting more effective with it. So I tell people, if you're super busy in the middle of the day, that's when your old thought pattern is going the strongest, and that's when it's not going to occur to you to take these refocus breaks. But if you discipline yourself to do that, the middle of the day one is actually the one that's most powerful in being able to create change, because you're interrupting your old thought programming when it's at its strongest, and that's very, very powerful to do.
Yeah, and I think that actually really, bringing it back to what we started our discussion with, is how does it relate to someone just dealing with his own money, is exactly that. When you have big money decisions to make, don't be so quick. It's nothing wrong with taking 3 minutes a day, right? I find that people often will make a $50,000 or $100,000 decision in a 1-minute phone call, whereas it would take them hours to buy a $40 pair of pants. And I think if you can realize important decisions, which ultimately will have a huge effect on you, can be, if you realize that you can pause a little bit, and like you said, maybe a good tool is just to sit for 3 minutes, close your eyes, and think about what you're hoping from this decision, hopefully you'll make a better decision.
Absolutely. I always tell people, don't make even small decisions. When you're in touch with your intuition and in alignment with the knowledge and resources that you need in order to make an intelligent decision, you're going to feel more peaceful about it. You're not going to feel anxious. So I always tell people, like, take the time to cultivate that, being in alignment with that decision, letting go of any anxiety or overwhelm that you have, because that's when you're going to make the best decision for yourself.
Okay, Dina, you told us a little earlier that you would let us know how we can listen to some more of the interviews that you've done with some really cool people, including Jack Canfield from the creator of the Chicken Soup series. So can you share that with us now?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm going to provide you, listeners can click on the link that's provided, and I did these because my thing's 9 minutes a day. I did 9-minute interviews with, I aimed for 9. I think it was more like 13 kind of self-help gurus. I know, it was a bunch.
It's hard. Okay. I get that too.
I know. And so I have a link where you can listen into Jack Canfield, Ariel Ford's, and Bob Proctor's. I'm not related to Bob Proctor, but he's a wonderful human being. And so I've got those 3 that are ready for listeners. And then I also have the others, with other people you can see right on the homepage of my website. And if they purchase the book, they can have access to all of those interviews for free by just entering their purchase details right on the website.
Okay, so what we'll do is we will put a link in the show notes at goldsteinongelt.com so people can find it easily. And just tell us in the last second, what is your website so people can easily find you as well?
The website is the name of the book, which is madlychasingpeace.com.
Okay. Dina Proctor, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
You've been listening to the Goldstein on Gelt Show with money maven Doug Goldstein. Doug's weekly radio show is heard around the world, but if you miss it, you can download the podcast at www.goldsteinongelt.com. The Goldstein on Gelt Show gives you up-to-date financial ideas so you can get on the path to financial freedom. If you'd like your questions answered on the air or off, send Doug an email to doug@profile-financial.com. It's your money for your future, so join Doug every week to build your wealth on the Goldstein on Gelt Show.